What is going on, Brownie Bros? It is Big Time Brownie, your coach of the Green Bay Yampers, here for our Week 3 battle of the UPA Showdown Division. First thing I want to apologize about my salt last week. I don't know. I was really salty last week. I think being frozen just triggers me, so I apologize for that. Second thing, this is going to be a post-com, including the team builder. I have already completed this battle. I was not at my apartment for the battle, so that's why this is a post-com. But we are taking on the Sydney Thundurus in Week 3. As you can see, this is the matchup on the screen. We have our team here, and then we have Sydney, which with Azelf, Chandelure, Cragnall, Dracovish, Escavalier, Florges, Mega Garchomp, Gigalith, Rillaboom, and Vikavolt. So you can already see what both teams brought on the screen, but first let me pull up my team. So this is the team I ended up bringing. So I ended up going with Articuno, Slowbro, Mega Kangaskhan, Arcanine, Tapu Koko, and Scizor. So this is actually this is the team I did end up bringing, but it's actually the wrong team. I made a couple of changes. I switched Arcanine's item to Heavy Duty Boots. I did not have Fire Punch. I had Ice Punch on Kangaskhan, and I also switched Volt Switch to U-Turn because of Mega Garchomp. But I brought the wrong team. It happens sometimes. But as you can see, we have our Articuno first up here with max defense and pretty much max HP with Defog, Toxic, Freeze Dry, and Roost. So I knew I needed to bring removal, and I have very limited removal options. I have Defog on Articuno, Scizor, Koko, and Vullaby. I knew Vullaby wasn't going to come, and I knew if Scizor or Koko came, I would want to choice them, especially Koko. I wanted to choice Scarf Koko because it outsped Dracovish in the sand. So I wanted to bring Defog on Articuno, and then I also know that I could take, with this set, a banded Fishious Rend with Sand Rush, so not Tough or Strong Jaw. I could take it decently well, and then Oko Dracovish with a Freeze Dry. If he wasn't banded, I took it really well. We had Roost, so we had multiple switch-ins. The Heavy Duty Boots, obviously, for the rocks. Toxic, just, if I needed to Toxic something else, like Florges or Garchomp when they came in, or even Vikavolt. So that's why I ended up having that moveset there. Similar thing for Slowbro here with Scald, Future Sight, Teleport, T-Wave, full defense. Knew I could take a Fishious Rend pretty comfortably and either T-Wave if I wanted to, or Teleport, gain some momentum into our Choice Scarf, Tapu Koko. Whatever we need to do, I wanted multiple Pokemon that could take at least one hit from Fishious Rend, which is something you need to prep for this team. He obviously has the Sand. He has the Rillaboom too with the priority, but so I knew rocks would be really big for him in this game. I knew he would want to get them up, so basically everything could be chipped into Fishious Rend territory if need be, which again is also why I brought the Defog. And then he also he doesn't have a Dark type, so I thought Future Sight would be really good. Yeah. Next up we have Kangaskhan with Scrappy, Fake Out, Body Slam, Fire Punch, and Sucker Punch. Obviously that becomes Parental Bond when we Mega Evolve. I did bring Scrappy though because I thought, if he does bring Chandelure, I was very afraid of Scarf Chandelure. I didn't have many switch-ins. If he were to lead Chandelure or something, I could stay non-Mega and Fake Out and hit him. Sucker Punch was for Azelf and Chandelure, and really everything that I could possibly need to hit. It outspeeds Rillaboom, outspeeds Rillaboom's Grassy Glide. It also can hit Dracovish, Chandelure, and Azelf. It can hit Chandelure and Azelf for super effective damage. Body Slam is just a great stab move with a 50%, basically a 50% chance to paralyze every turn with the 2 hits. Next up is Akamaru, our Arcanine, with Intimidate, and also with Flamethrower, Scorching Sands, Will-O-Wisp, and Teleport. So I had an EV to outspeed Rillaboom, so we could hit a Flamethrower, we could or Will-O-Wisp on it. It can also outspeed Garchomp, and everything else it needs to outside of... the only thing it can't outspeed is Azelf, Cragnall, and Dracovish in the sand, and obviously any Choice Scarfers. Everything else it could outspeed. Garchomp also on base forms it couldn't too. Just a really solid Pokemon. Our Rillaboom check and our Escavalier check for this game. also he couldn't freely just click Fire Blast against their team if Slowbro happened to go down or something. So then we have our Bandit Scizor, which did a heck of a lot to pretty much everything on his team with Bullet Punch, Dual Wing Beat, U-Turn, and Quick Attack. I needed something to hard counter Florges, which does not get Mystical Fire because it's not in the new gen. So that's really nice. That's why I ended up bringing that. Quick Attack for some extra priority to be able to hit Dracovish for neutral damage. And, U-Turn and Dual Wing Beat as well for the... for either breaking potential sashes, yeah, it also hits Rillaboom for super effective damage. I would be U-turning on Rillaboom anyway, but I was gonna say something, but I forgot. It'll come to me. Oh yes, I remember now. And then we finally have a Choice Scarf Tapu Koko. As I said, it does outspeed Dracovish in the sand. God, it's late. I'm tired. So basically this is, if something went down, we could switch into this thing and hit Dracovish with the Dazzling Gleam. And I think he likes to lead Ozelf and Stealth Rock, so my plan was to lead this Volt Switch and then or U-turn actually, and then hit it with a Bullet Punch after it goes for either a Psychic into our Scizor or for the Stealth Rock. But unfortunately we bought Volt Switch, so I wasn't comfortable just Volt Switching on turn 1. So let's get right into the battle here, and let's switch sides so the good guys are on the right side. This is... I'm going to play without music. So he ends up leading Vikavolt, and we can see. So he did end up bringing Mega Garchomp, Vikavolt, Dracovish, Ozelf, Rillaboom, and Gigalith. So no Chandelure, which I was really, really happy about. And, I didn't think anything else would come. I thought maybe Florges would come, but we do have a lot of really strong physical attackers. I thought also maybe Escavalier would come to stop Scizor or Sceptile as well, and also to have a decent counter to Kangaskhan. But neither of those Pokemon came. He does end up leading with his Vikavolt, and so I know that he's going to want to get webs up, and since we aren't heavy duty boots on Arcanine right now, that becomes really important because he can outspeed us with Rillaboom and his high horsepower, and if the webs stay up, I can't outspeed Dracovish in the sand, which he did bring. I thought maybe there's an outside chance he doesn't bring sand and just goes Bandit or Scarf. So I knew that this was not really the greatest situation for me. And I knew he would want to get his webs up, so I just got a little bit of chip off and Volt Switch straight into Arcanine, as he does get his sticky webs up. He doubles out into Gigalith. I thought about Will-O-Wisping here, but I thought, if he wanted to Volt Switch or something, or Toxic, it was best for me just to hit Flamethrower just in case. We could also potentially get the burn with the Flamethrower. I just wanted to go for the safe plays at the beginning. So he does go into his Gigalith. We go out into Scizor here, as he on his Toxic. And as you can see, we just U-turn, and we're playing... I'm going to put this back to normal. And we see that he's Rocky Helmet on his Vikavolt. But we do 41%, which is huge. That means he's in range of another U-turn. He can't really switch into anything. So, I mean... He could try to come in on a Bullet Punch, but I'm not going to really try Bullet Punching until the late game. So this is huge for us. So on this turn, we can see it did outspeed because of the sand, his Vikavolt, because we're at -1. So he was able to Volt Switch. I figured I would get the slower teleport off and see what he went into, because I figured he would either hard switch or Volt Switch out because he was faster. I did not expect him to stay in and roost or something. So he does go out into the Gigalith, and we're able to bring in Slowbro, and we double back out into Scizor on the Toxic. I just didn't want Slowbro to be Toxic at that stage, and I figured I could get another U-turn off. He didn't really have a switch into U-turn at that point, right? He couldn't stay in case I Bullet Punch because he needed to keep his sand up and needed to keep Gigalith healthy. He had no other real switches into U-turn, so we are able to take the Vikavolt out. We do take some Rocky Helmet chip, but that's totally okay. I want to go into Slowbro because I want him to go into Rillaboom. I don't want him to go into Gigalith and get up his sand for free. And then, you know, we just switch hard Arcanine, and this is where not having boots was really unfortunate. We do get Chad to -1. He is sub, which I did not expect him to be. I thought Choice Banded Rillaboom did a really nice job, really nice job against my team. But he does have the Drain Punch, so here I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't have high horsepower, so which is really good for us. He then goes out into Garchomp, and I go for the Will-O-Wisp. And here, you know, I see Garchomp, and I'm like, okay, it's Burn and it's in the terrain. We can just stay in and teleport. And he goes for the Earth Power. That was just an oversight on my part. I mean, he's Mega Garchomp. He has a Rillaboom. Obviously, he's going to run Special Earth Power, because, you know, I mean, it also gets Draco and just does a lot of damage. So, unfortunately, you know, and Earth Power does a lot of damage in the Sand, too, with its Sand Force. Unfortunately, we lose Akamaru. I didn't think it was the biggest deal in the world, especially now that I knew Rillaboom's set. I just didn't think it was a huge threat to me. I had Scizor, I had Articuno, so I wasn't really panicking yet. And we also had Coco to change the terrain. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go out into Articuno, and I'm going to double back out. I could have defogged there, but again, I just didn't want him to get up the sand for free. I think here we end up going for a Future Sight, because again, he doesn't have any of his dark types on the team, so something's going to be taking this attack really hard. He gets up his rocks. I go for the T-Wave on the off chance he switches into anything, because I know he's not going to switch into Garchomp on Scald. But I guess looking back on that, he doesn't really have anything he can switch into Scald. So we go out into our Flick here, and he goes out into his Rillaboom. Rillaboom takes the Future Sight, and takes it really well. So I mean, we know it's a bulky Rillaboom. I go for the Bullet Punch here. There was no reason for me not to, because I figured I needed to take this thing out for Tapu Koko to be able to basically win in the late game, which we're sort of setting up for now. Rillaboom and Vikavolt are gone, so he lost his terrain control. He still obviously has the Gigalith as well. Here I knew he would have Flamethrower, Fire Blast, but again, this now puts him into Dazzling Gleam range, which is huge for us. So now really all we need to do is get Gigalith a little bit lower, and Azelf a little bit lower too, and Coco can win at the end. So we take this Garchomp down to about half health. We then can go into the Articuno, and here I knew I could take a Flamethrower. At this point, I figured, okay, he's not mixed. He is burnt, so we can go for the defog here. Oh wait, no, I went for Freeze Dry first. I think that's honestly a misplay. I probably should have just went for the safe defog. But I am able to get the defog here and get rid of the rocks and the webs. And at this point, I basically knew I won, because Coco, once I get some more chip on Gigalith and Azelf, Coco can beat Dracovish in the with our Scarf. It outspeeds it, and he goes out into hard Azelf here and takes the 47%. So yeah, I mean, basically at this point, I kind of knew we had won. We can also take one Vicious Rend as well. So here I switch out just to scout Azelf. I mean, he might go for Energy Ball or for Shadow Ball or for something. We just sack it off. If for some reason he switched out, we could have gotten the defog off. We then go into Kangaskhan here, and we get one of the freest fake outs of all time, and end up taking out Azelf with it. He then goes Gigalith, and this is where, I mean, I kind of just had to go to Body Slam. And again, I mean, this is all, at this point, for me, it's all about the chip. So he explodes, though. So at this point, between Slowbro and Coco, we know he won. I went into Coco first just to preserve the differential, because, I mean, we couldn't really do anything with Slowbro. I guess I could have T-waved it, but he ends up going for Vicious Rend. We win. We hit it with the Dazzling Gleam. And yeah, it was a good game to Cowpat. I think we set up our late game really well, especially for breaking some of the wrong sets. You know, we also lost Arcanine kind of stupidly early, so I felt pretty decent about that. We now move up to 2-1 in the season, which is big. Hopefully we can win next week and go to 3-1 and keep it rolling. But But that's it for me. Remember, a video from Big Time keeps your life sublime. So until next time, we'll see you in week 4 of the UPA. Bye, guys.